rookie, Murataka Murakami, with 5 homers in his last 12 games, a Rookie of the Year candidate for the first-place team out of Chicago. You'll see him hosting Cleveland. One of the games on display here on Baseball Night in America.
The trade deadline has come and gone, which means the push to October is officially on.
Tarek Skubal, back-to-back Cy Youngs, but now he's going to join the back-to-back defending champs.
Welcome to the Bronx, Luis!
Tonight, the spotlight shines on the AL Central, where 2 contenders meet. The Southsiders have turned heads all season long and have bolstered their roster, determined to prove they're the real deal.
Murakami now lifts this in the air. At the wall! Back to back we go!
But the Guardians have made some moves of their own to try and keep pace in this tight division race.
Drive to deep center. We're out of here!
Meanwhile, the Rangers look to stay in the hunt for the AL West crown as they host Pete Alonso and the Orioles.
Alonso drives us deep, and that baby is gone!
Baseball Night in America starts now.
Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Rangers as they take on the Orioles. Texas going for their 4th straight win, just a game and a half out of the lead in the AL West. And the Tigers 3.5 off the division lead in the Central, 2 out of the wild card. Their Rookie of the Year candidate, Kevin McGonigal, loosening up as the Tigers will take on the Giants. All part of Baseball Night in America. And Fox Baseball Night in America, sponsored by Geico. Welcome inside our studios live here in Los Angeles with our World Series champ Don Phillips. Chris Myers, thanks for being with us. We'll get to that tightest race in all of baseball, the Central of that showdown, Cleveland and the White Sox. But let's check on some other games going on right now. And the Phillies and the Blue Jays. Vladimir Guerrero in the opening inning facing Aaron Nola.
Yeah, when that toe tap get quiet, we have liftoff.
Only his 7th home run of the year, but enough to give Toronto the lead 2-0 as they play in the 3rd. This was a good pitching matchup. Braves-Yankees at the start. 5th inning, it's a 2-1 game. Cole in trouble here, 2-on-2 out, but he gets Matt Olson. 1,000th strikeout as a Yankee for Cole.
Yeah, this is a nice little battle with aces on the mound, and all of a sudden,
Sale called for a balk here.
yeah.
And he argued it, and his manager, Walt Weiss, didn't like it either. He's thrown out.
It looked a little funky to me, General, as far as where he held his hands at, and then you hear a little toe tap, and so huge run and really momentum shifter.
Well, Weiss lost all of his hair.
Me too.
Arguing. George Lombard Jr., what a story. 2nd home run in just 4 games. The rookie delivers. The Yankees hang on at the end, 5-4. Red Sox A's, 6th inning here. 9-game win streak on the line. Gage jumped trying to get out of trouble. He gets Durant, and then Connor Wong had 11 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was touching 99 from the left side. Excellent breaking ball to pair with that fastball.
Tyler Soderstrom off this pitch for his 19th home run of the year. A 6-2 A's lead, but here come the Red Sox. 2-on-2 out in the 8th. Harris strikes out Durant, swinging 0 for 4. It just went final. Boston trying to rally, but 7-3, they could not, even though they've been on an amazing run. And the A's end their losing skid of 9 games. So these are the current standings. A little bit of a surprise that the Dodgers, who've lost 7 in a row, would not be one of the first 2 seeds. And in the AL, a bit of a surprise that the Rays and White Sox are your top 2 seeds. And speaking of the Central, look at how tight. 3.5 teams for that division lead, or 3.5 games separate 4 teams, and they're going to be facing each other quite a bit over the final 47, 48 games of the season. Let's welcome in our MLB insider, Ken Rosenthal, joining us live from Chicago. And Ken, it's always good to see you. White Sox landed Luis Castillo at the deadline. Guardians made some moves of their own to try and stay in the race and keep up pace. They're just 2 back, as we saw. How would you grade the deadline for these 2 teams and what they did?
Chris, both teams did well. The White Sox are in first place, but they're still building. They were intent on keeping their top prospects, so they made a series of moves that didn't necessarily raise their ceiling, but did raise their floor. You mentioned the big one, Luis Castillo. He's a guy who's a starting pitcher who should give them innings, which is big for the White Sox because they're last in the majors in innings out of their rotation. The Guardians, too, were protective of their young talent, but they were more aggressive than usual, seeing an opportunity. Wide open AL Central, wide open American League. They landed one of the top rental starting pitchers, Foster Griffin, and 2 veteran hitters, Joe Adell and Nathaniel Lowe. Their team is so young. Manager Stephen Vogt said that Adell and Lowe and the experience they're providing are already making a difference. Chris?
All right, young players doing well. Thank you, Ken. We'll see you on the broadcast coming up. White Sox, by the way, too, the third youngest lineup in baseball currently. As we mentioned, Cleveland tied for second in the Central, but in the previous 10 seasons, they won 6 division titles, 7 playoff appearances. Same span, White Sox under 7 different managers, won the division just once, failed to finish above 500 8 times. 2026, a little bit of a different feel for the first place White Sox from the South Side. It's interesting how the last 3 years they lost 100 games or more. And what separates this young team?
You know, it's more of a well-balanced attack. This on the speed department, you look at Acuna and Antonacci, they're able to run the bases. But if you look at the teeth of this lineup, Montgomery has 25 home runs, Murakami has 25 home runs. They're going to be 30 home runs plus. Also, you have Miguel Vargas, who's an all-star in that lineup. So you have a bunch of guys that will go out and force the opposition to play clean baseball. And they got everybody rocking and rolling and believing down there in that South Side. And it's been a long time, General, with that type of energy and that type of belief. Murakami is that one threat in the Central that's been consistent. Now, the only time he hasn't been consistent is when he's been injured. But every time he's in that lineup, he can win the ball game by himself. There is no other bat in that lineup, in that division besides Jose Ramirez that can win ball games by themselves. And so they got a centerpiece, and they're going to plan to build around him. This clock was sped up with this organization. They felt like next year was going to be the year that they were going to build and have a chance to go in the postseason. Well, they feel like they're going to the postseason right now, but it's going to be a fun race in the AL Central. It's
always good to show up early, and we can't leave the Twins out of this
Not
race.
at all.
You saw
Not
that
at
with
all.
the Tigers.
Every time we go up against the Guardians, something happens and they win the division, but I think it's the White Sox year.
But what a turnaround for the White Sox. They have been outstanding. Among the games you'll see, mentioned the Tigers in San Francisco, the O's in Texas as well. And Jackson Jobe, the former 3rd overall pick back in 2020, when making his return to the majors following Tommy John surgery. And talk about the White Sox, it was my pleasure to cover that team on Fox in the World Series when they won it. Ozzie Guillen, the great manager there, had his jersey retired in Chicago today. I always think highly of how candid he was on Baseball Night in America.
MLB.
Baseball Night in America from Oracle Park in San Francisco. Game 2 of a 3-game weekend series with the Detroit Tigers in town taking on the San Francisco Giants on Giants Wall of Fame night, looking for a spark and looking for a series win against the suddenly resurgent Detroit Tigers, who are looking for a win to stay on track for a possible postseason berth in Detroit. Possible because when you look at the American League Central and the American League wildcard, these Tigers are very much in the mix despite selling off 2 huge arms at the trading deadline. 3.5 games behind the Central leading White Sox, 2 games back in the wildcard in a huge bunch of teams vying for the postseason. Good evening, everybody. Alongside my partner, Eric Karros, I'm Kevin Kugler. And, EK, the reason these Tigers are where they are right now is because since June 1, they've been one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, both of these teams very active at the trade deadline, but going in very different directions the remainder of this season. As you mentioned, the Tigers have been as good as anybody in all of baseball since June 1st, and that's why they find themselves in a playoff hunt. You take a look at these numbers, the home runs and the OPS offensively, the best in the American League since June 1st. Pitching as well, ERA, opponents' OPS, the same thing, the best in the American League. They find themselves in a position where these next 2 months mean a lot.
When you go into the Giants clubhouse, they've all got name tags. Hello, my name is, because they really went through a wholesale change at the trade deadline. But in game one of this series, won last night by the Giants, it was the vets, Adames and Devers, that carried the load.
Absolutely the right direction for the Giants to go right now, to retool, to get some young players. But don't forget about the ones that they have. Rafael Devers, as you mentioned, a 2-run shot last night, put the Giants ahead, and then Willie Adames later in the ballgame. Hey, I can do this too. 2 cogs as the Giants seek to rebuild going ahead in the future.
A lot of young faces on that Giants squad that you'll see here tonight against the Tigers team that is pushing towards the postseason. A very important game tonight for the Detroit Tigers in San Francisco. It's baseball night in America. The Giants hosting the Tigers, and first pitch between Detroit and San Francisco is coming up next on Fox.
School.
Took a little longer than usual for the marine layer to burn off today. We had clouds till about 1 o'clock local time this afternoon, but right now 67 degrees, bright sunshine, wind pretty brisk, 17 miles an hour, and blowing out today towards McCovey Cove here in San Francisco. Should be a fun night for baseball and a fun night for 2 teams that are trying to figure out exactly what direction they are going. For the Tigers, they're hoping their direction is the postseason. Our starting lineup is sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods. And you look at this Tigers batting order, and Kevin McGonigal, one of the bright young stars of the game, at the top of this lineup. Gleyber Torres, Dylan Dingler, Riley Green, Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson, Max Clark, Javier Baez back now from injury over the last week, and Zach McKinstry batting ninth and playing in right field. And the man who will be charged with trying to shut them down is Landon Roop. His 23rd start. That's a career high for him in the big leagues. 23rd start of the season. You see the numbers for Roop, 7-10, a 4.34 earned run average. And EK, it's been an up and down year for Landon Roop.
Yeah, it really has. And if you look at those numbers, some of those things that jump out, you say, not so great. But he's had some stretches where he's been as good as anyone. When he's throwing the ball well, he is getting chase. He's not going to fill up the zone. He likes to throw his sinker, the curveball, the changeup, cutter as well. But what he's going to have to do is hope that these teams, the Tigers, are aggressive and swing out of the zone, and he gets some chase.
He needs some good defense behind him as well. He gets more weak contact than any pitcher in Major League Baseball. And here is that defense. Eddie's Leonard, Drew Gilbert, and Jung-Hoo Liu had 2 terrific defensive plays in right field in their win last night. Christian Koss, Willie Adames, Oslevi Basabe at second base. We'll talk about him through the night. He has really become kind of a clubhouse star over the last week or so. Rafael Devers and Drew Cavanaugh rounding out the defense for the San Francisco Giants. Now we are ready to get it started as A.J. Hinch looks on. We were talking with him before the game, and he is very confident, and he's certainly taken a lot of teams to the postseason. He's confident that this is a team that has enough to get to that postseason spot.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the overall record, and you might think one thing, but you have to look at it as you mentioned at the top of the show, just a couple games out of the postseason. And their ball club against some of the ones they're competing against this next month and a half, they've got as good a chance as any.
Kevin McGonigal takes a hack at the first pitch from Landon Roop, and we are underway on a Saturday night in San Francisco. What a season this rookie has had for the Tigers. Check swing foul, and it's 0-2. He leads all Major League rookies in hits, walks, runs, K rate, on base percentage, third in batting average among rookies. He's been tremendous.
Yeah, he really has. And one of the reasons why they signed him to that multi-year deal before he'd even spent a day in the big league, so important.
No balls, 2 strikes. On the ground to the right side, Basabe is there, and there's one away.
Just to be clear, I should say that he did spend a day in the big league.
Yes, he did.
A couple guys, he and Connor Griffin, over in Pittsburgh. I mean, it's kind of the wave they're doing. They're signing their young guys. And
Pete Crow Armstrong. Weatherholt in St. Louis. I mean, you go down the list. That's the trend right now. And first pitch swinging. Gleyber Torres slicing that one into the right field corner where Lee waits. And there's 2 up and 2 down for Roop in the first.
Nice way for Roop to start this ball game. You know, historically, he has trouble with the leadoff hitters of innings. But nothing at all this evening. Tony Vitelli, you see there, managing this ball club first year, as everybody is surely aware.
As a team now more reminiscent of some of his teams at Tennessee, young players getting their first taste of the big leagues. Ball, no strikes on Dylan Dingler, and Dingler watching that one sail inside quickly. 2-0 on Dingler. Three balls, no strikes. The curveball missing for Roop, and it has been one of the issues for Roop. The walk rate, he walks almost 10.5% of the hitters he faces as they challenge this one, and it's a strike. So it goes from 3-0 to 2-1.
You mentioned that walk rate. It's the 3rd worst in the National League, and where he gets himself into trouble is if he does that to lead off an inning.
The 2-1 hit hard to center field. Gilbert on the run with room. He'll make the catch. And a 1-2-3 inning to start things off for Landon Roop with 8 pitches thrown in the top half of inning number 1. Starting lineup is sponsored by Dick's Sporting Goods, and the Giants start things off with the designated hitter Bryce Eldridge, Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adames, Rafael Devers, Oslavis Basabe, Drew Gilbert, Eddie Leonard, Drew Cavanaugh, and Christian Koss. Rounding out the 9 for the Giants, and big night for the Tigers. They get Jackson Jobe back, his first appearance since, ironically, against these Giants, May 28th, 2025, 14-month rehab from Tommy John.
Yeah, great to see him back, and Detroit needs him more than ever. Obviously, we talked about Skubal and Mize leaving, some open spots in the rotation, and this young man can throw as well as anybody.
And he throws with a little bit of velocity. You see 98 miles an hour on that fastball. Talking to A.J. Hinch before the game, he said he's been hitting 100. The velocity is there. He's been a strike thrower in his 5 minor league starts. And the breaking ball catching for a strike, and it's 1-2.
And kind of crazy, too. In his 10 big league starts, he's got reverse splits. Absolutely annihilates left-handed hitters. 200 average, 280 on base, but has trouble against the righties. We'll see what happens this evening.
Against the 6'7" leadoff man Bryce Eldridge, who became the tallest Giant to bat leadoff when he moved into that spot last Saturday since at least 1900. And he looks at a strike, pumped over with a change. Eldridge is going to challenge.
This is crazy, absolutely crazy right now. There is no reason to challenge in this situation. And even if he's right, it doesn't matter. You can't challenge the very first at bat in a ball game. You just can't.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Eldridge. Did he hold up his swing, appeal to third, and Ramon De Jesus at third base says no, and it's 3-2. Swing and a miss. There's that power. 100 miles an hour on the fastball, and Eldridge is gone.
A 7-pitch at bat right there. Joe just rears back and throws that fastball. As you mentioned, 3 digits right there. And that's just square right down the middle part of the plate. You take a look at what he has to offer. That 4-seamer, the slider, changeup. You see that sinker, but it'll vary against the righties and the lefties. Right-handed hitters will not see much of the, I should say, the straight fast. They'll see the fastball. They'll get more sinkers. Lefties get no sinkers.
Now, if you're the Giants, though, you want to work up that pitch count. You know he's on a number. San Francisco's not privy to that. We are. It's between 75 and 80 pitches that they expect to go with Job tonight. Bouncing ball, but positioned perfectly was Javi Baez, the throw across for the second out.
Well, there's two things I want to do if I'm the Giants. Just as you mentioned, I want to up that pitch count, but I also want to force him in the zone because he's the type of guy, you know, that at least those 10 starts, he's less in zone as far as the major league average as compared to others. And he also doesn't get a lot of chase.
Here's Adames, 2 out, nobody on, and Willie Adames looks at a fastball up for ball 1. Got him started last night with that home run, his 19th of the season. The 2-0 from Job. And it's 2-1 on Adames. 14 months between starts, and Jackson Jobe said 2-strike execution, things like that. That's the next step for me. He said, I'm in a much better position than I expected to be in as far as the feel on the mound goes. Down the line, taking a shot into that corner, and it's foul. 2-2.
Making his first start against the Giants in the big leagues is a good landing spot after coming off of Tommy John. Just because San Francisco is an aggressive swinging team, they don't take a lot of walks. You know, there are a couple guys that can bite you with the home run ball.
Tried the outside corner and missed with the slider, and the count's full 3-2. 15th pitch of the inning coming up for Job.
So 2 of the first 3 hitters, full counts.
And the 3-2 pitch. Reaching for this one, and a little looper into shallow left center, and that'll drop into the glove of Baez. Each team going 1-2-3 in the first as Job walks off the mound with a scoreless inning under his belt.
This is Zach.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, a grand slam for your budget. Back in the Bay Area, scoreless second inning, Tigers and Giants. It'll be Riley Green to lead things off, and the first pitch from Landon Root missing wide of the zone. See the numbers for Riley Green: 92 career home runs. Poised with a good finish to become just the 3rd Tiger to hit 100 home runs before turning the age of 26. Two balls and a strike on Riley Green. Two balls, 2 strikes, good changeup from Root.
You know, if you look at this Tigers offense, and you know they've been really good as of late. You know, they don't have one guy that just stands out among the rest.
As Green is out on strikes, first strikeout of the first, out of the second.
It's a collective effort. Everybody just, it's a tough out. They all can contribute. And that's what's allowed them to be successful.
That's one of the big challenges tonight for Landon Root. You don't necessarily have that one guy you've got to hone in on and say, this is the guy that I'm not going to let beat me.
You know, again, I think for Root just this evening, just don't give up the walk. Like, do not put guys on, but make this Detroit ball club earn it.
Numbers for Colt Keith, that average at .432 over the last 12 games for Colt Keith. That's to the point you were making. There's a bunch of these guys like Colt Keith in the lineup that are getting hot at the right time. Didn't see it as much last night, although they had base runners all night in that game. Could not cash in with runners in scoring position, and we've got a violation.
Yeah, that was a problem. Detroit had so many opportunities, out-hit the Giants, and as you mentioned, just feeble with runners in scoring position.
So the 3-0 is outside, and now ball 4 gives Keith a free pass in the second. Well, just missed opportunities. Look at that. 2 runs, 11 hits, and 4 walks, leaving 13 on. And over the course of this road trip, that's really not been what Detroit has done.
No, and last night, you go back to the 5th inning, they had first and second, the heart of the lineup on, and San Francisco made some great defensive plays, and that was really the turning point in the ball game.
1 strike and nothing on Spencer Torkelson. Little dribbler up the line. That stays fair. The throw to first, and it's out of the glove of Devers. Holding at second is Keith. It'll be a base hit as it dribbled up the first baseline, curled back fair, and Torkelson legged it out for an infield hit.
Yeah, interesting. Keith doesn't know what to do, and which I don't understand. Like, Keith should have been running from the get-go, because if the ball is foul, big deal, it's foul. But if it rolls fair and he's still not sure what he's going to do, like, I don't understand that. And then on top of that, because he did that, he slides into second base. Not sure why that happens. There's a mess up over at first. He could easily, I should say easily, he should be on third base right now. Tigers should have first and third, instead first and second.
And Spencer Torkelson, I don't have the numbers, EK. I have got to think that Spencer Torkelson has never had a base hit with an exit velocity of 20 miles an hour. I mean, I don't know that for certain.
Right.
But it doesn't feel like he's ever had that.
I'll tell you what, he's living right, because last night he was awarded a hit as well. And it probably should have been an error on the third baseman. But see here, let's take a look at what happened. You know, watch Keith at first base. Now see, look at this. What are we doing? Why are we standing there? Why are we even thinking about going back to first? Like, that was just a complete, brain cramp over there. And again, for the Tigers, hopefully it doesn't hurt them, but it's not a good spot.
Leonard, he overran the ball. It drops in, and everybody is safe. Keith to third, Torkelson to second, and on a pop-up to left, Leonard came in too far, and he overran it.
Man, I just got done talking about the 5th inning last night and how great the Giants' defense was and what it was able to do as far as saving the game. We see the play at first, and now this one, he just overruns it. I mean, he literally runs past it, realizes, uh-oh, and then tries to jump, and obviously feels horrible. But this is a great mound visit right now. Great mound visit, because you've got a pitcher right now is Landon. He's just thinking, you got to be kidding me. And, there have been times this year where things spiral for him. And it's not anything that he can control. He can just continue to make pitches, and he can't let what just happened defensively impact this very next pitch.
Yeah, he's not made a bad pitch that's been put into play in this inning. The hit by Torkelson was a 20-mile-per-hour exit velocity. Clark's bloop should have been an out. And instead, the bases are loaded with 1 gone, and Javi Baez at the plate takes ball 1.
Now, as bad as Detroit was last night, 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position, we got to put that behind them and get going this evening.
Well, that's not been the story, though, in the bulk of this road trip. Last 10 games before last night, 347 as a team with runners in scoring position. They've been cashing in. 2 balls and a strike to Baez. Missed nearly 3 months with a right ankle sprain, came back on July 28th. And the 2-1 hit in the air, shallow center. Basabe going out. He's called off. The catch made by Gilbert and no advance. Excellent throw by Gilbert. Nobody moving off the base paths, and with 2 gone, it'll be up to Zach McKinstry.
I mean, even this, Landon Roop's thinking, okay, come on. Gilbert does a nice job of gaining ground.
First pitch swinging, and Roop may be out of the inning. Gilbert dancing around in center makes the catch. And the Tigers cannot cash in with the bases loaded and 1 out. They fail to score, still scoreless in San Francisco.
DQ app.
Jackson Jobe back out for a 2nd inning of work. He'll face Rafael Devers, Oslavis Basabe, and Drew Gilbert. Here in this 2nd inning, a missed opportunity in the top half of inning number 1 for the Detroit Tigers, but a good job by Landon Roop to work around all kinds of trouble with no damage done. Devers down 2 strikes very quickly to start off the bottom half of inning number 2. Swing and a miss. Devers chasing the change out of the zone. 2nd strikeout for Jobe, and there's 1 away.
So we said it that he's got reverse splits, and he absolutely dominates left-handed hitters. So far, faced a few, but Bryce Eldridge struck out. Now Devers striking out.
Here's Basabe off to an excellent start. First pitch is high for ball 1. Started off the year in AAA Sacramento. Since his call up, 8 for 22. 3 home runs and 9 runs driven in. He had hit just 5 in 75 games with Sacramento. The MLB.TV trade deadline sale is here. Available through tomorrow at the low price of $34.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. 2 balls and a strike on Basabe. Balls, 1 strike. 1 out and a scoreless 2nd. And fouled back now. 3-2 on Basabe.
All right, what do we got? We've got 5 hitters so far. 3 of them this evening have gone to a 3-2 count.
And already the 25th pitch of the Jobe outing. Almost back to our booth. Wow. And a good catch off of the facing of the upper deck by a fan below.
That was legit. No,
yeah.
That was legit. Got a Crawford jersey on, so it makes sense. Brandon Crawford, one of the great Giants, great fielder. But yeah, fan made a heck of a catch.
Nice play by Jobe, although not as good as the fan in the stands, who caught it with 1 hand as it caromed off behind him. He may be in action next week. Saturday night's baseball night in America. Next week, 2 of the best in the NL square off as the Brewers take on Shohei and the Dodgers, or another regional action, Diamondbacks Braves or Red Sox Pirates. Check local listings for the game in your area next Saturday, 7 Eastern on Fox. One strike and nothing on Drew Gilbert. I think the report we got from A.J. Hinch on his young right-hander was accurate. He's throwing strikes, and he's throwing with velocity. In the air to center field. That ball well hit. Max Clark shading his eyes at the track. Reaches up, and as he bangs into the wall, makes the catch to retire the side. Out Outstanding play by Clark in center to rob Drew Gilbert of extra bases and give Jackson Jobe his second straight 1-2-3 inning. Scoreless as we welcome back for the top of the third alongside Eric Karros. I'm Kevin Kugler. Good to have you with us tonight. Baseball Night in America on Fox, and we've got a challenge on the opening pitch of this third inning. And a Tigers challenge.
Boy, Kev?
Called a ball. Kevin McGonigal with a good challenge. Now you heard in the background a voice cheering on the challenge. That was not this Kevin. That was Kevin McGonigal getting cheered on by his teammate in the dugout, Troy Melton, who joins us with the headset on before his start tomorrow as McGonigal lines this one to left for out number one. As a pitcher, and Troy, thank you for joining us. As a pitcher, do you like the challenge at this point? Are you infuriated when others challenge? What do you make of the challenge at this point in the season?
I think I like it. I think it's been a good change. I definitely think it shrunk the strike zone a little bit, so there was an adjustment period early. I had it in AAA last year though, so maybe I had a little advantage there, but I think it definitely cleans it up. I mean, the egregious ones you always want right, so it's been good.
First pitch to Gleyber Torres in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. With the changes on the pitching staff at the trading deadline, how does that change the room, and does it change anything you do as far as being a voice in that room for some of the other guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're still in a really good spot where we have some guys that have had a lot of success in this league. I mean, obviously we have JV and Flair injured right now, but they're still here with the team a lot. So we still have those, veteran voices that have been there and done that and won at a high level. So for me personally, I'm still pretty young, so I don't really think I'm much of a leader yet. But I mean, try to be for whatever I'm needed for, obviously. But yeah, I don't think it really changed the vibe of the team all that much. Obviously, you lose two really big voices and parts of the clubhouse off the field and on the field. So it's definitely different, but I think we have a really good group of understanding where we're at. And, we got a lot of baseball to play, and we're still in this thing. So I don't think the message has really changed at all.
So why do you guys get to the postseason? Why are we going to be watching the Detroit Tigers in October?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've proven it over the last 2 years. I wasn't here in 24, but obviously that run was really special with a lot of the same group, especially on offense. So I think it's just a proven group at this point of being able to win some baseball games. And, since June 1, I think I saw some stats. We're like one of the best teams in the league, and it really feels like that. So ever since we've gotten over May, it's been good.
Dylan Dingler at the plate, looks at ball one outside. For you, getting ready for a start tomorrow, what's the day before like? What goes into that final preparation for you before you take the mound tomorrow afternoon?
I'm pretty basic, honestly. I don't really do too much more than any other day. I get out here and I make sure the body's feeling good before I play catch, and then throw a few baseballs at the end pretty hard just to see where the body's at, and just be ready to let it go tomorrow. Some of the scouting stuff I've really I've done my work already, so I've just watching the game and seeing with my own eyes what's going on. So really not a whole lot.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Dylan Dingler. He stays alive with a foul ball.
All right, so this one won't be a long-winded answer because we're fighting it here possibly, but favorite player growing up?
Mike Trout, easy.
I
grew up in Anaheim, so
oh, dude,
yeah,
okay,
that was
got
pretty
it.
good, pretty easy answer.
So did you swing the bat?
I did, yeah. I didn't really pitch at all until my senior year of high school. I mean, I did here and there.
Right.
But I was always a hitter growing up, and then senior year came around and they made me pitch, and it worked out.
Well, the sign of a very good pitcher is knowing to take quick innings when the broadcasters ask you to do a mid-inning interview. Thanks, Troy. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Troy. Eddie's Leonard leading things off for the San Francisco Giants against right-hander Jackson Jobe. His first start in 14 months, coming back from Tommy John surgery, and a swing and a miss for Leonard. Strike one. Cavanaugh and Koss to follow here in the Giants' third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking with A.J. Hinch beforehand, and one of the things he talked about when you asked him a similar question to that we asked Troy just a moment ago. Why will we see the Giants in the postseason? And one of the things he said was Jackson Jobe is going to be playing a big role. If he plays the role we think he can play, that'll really help pitch us to the postseason.
Well, there's no question that he's got the physical attributes. It's, you know, look, I don't care how good you are physically. The experience level at the big league level is something that you cannot mimic. You just got to get reps. And, you know, the ironic thing is this is a young man that has pitched in a playoff game.
Swing and a miss. 99 on that fastball, and there's the third strikeout for Joe.
You know, he had 10 starts last year. I think one of the things, though, that you've got with this young man is he's coming back from Tommy John surgery, and he's being asked to pitch in a pennant stretch, with a chase for a pennant, or chase for a postseason, I should say. So that's an awful lot, but he's got the physical tools to do it.
Kavanaugh settling in. Began this year in Double-A Richmond, came up to Triple-A Sacramento, and then called up to the big leagues on June 26th. A lot of stories like that right now on this Giants roster.
Well, certainly going to get an opportunity. And, you know, what is a big leaguer? A big leaguer is a minor leaguer with an opportunity.
Those career debuts this season, 8 of them in a Giants uniform. And the 19th start at the big league level for Drew Kavanaugh, his first at bat of the night, even 2-2. Three balls, 2 strikes on Kavanaugh. Fourth time a full count for a Giants batter through the first 8 of the night. Still 3-2 on Kavanaugh. Eighth pitch of the at-bat here. And there's ball 4, and the Giants have their first base runner, a 1-out walk here in the 3rd. The ultimate goal of an MLB fan, seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yep, all 30, including this one. MLB.com/Journey to 30 sweeps.
Well, you have to say this place is certainly one of the most beautiful ballparks in all of baseball. If you ever have an opportunity to catch a ball game here at Oracle Park, got to put that on the bucket list.
Yeah, it's a fantastic setting. The 0-1 fouled away, and it's 0-2 on the number 9 hitter, Christian Koss. Really good crowd here tonight as well. Giants team that is certainly not in the running for anything from a postseason standpoint, but Giants fans have come out tonight on a beautiful Saturday evening. Watch a little baseball. The 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Koss. Kavanaugh short lead at first. Still 1-2 on Christian Koss. back with the foul, and Koss still at 1 ball, 2 strikes, and continuing to push that pitch count up. Jackson Jobe now 46 pitches on a night where we expect to see him between 70 and 80, depending on the situation. His first outing in 14 months. And the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Christian Koss. Koss for his last 15. And a called 3rd strike. Good curveball from Jobe, freezing Koss at the plate. 4th strikeout for Jackson Jobe, and there's 2 away.
It was just a breaking ball in the outer part of the plate, just hits the edge, and Koss can't pull the trigger. Nice execution there by Jobe.
And now top of the order, Bryce Eldridge with 2 out, and Cavanaugh at first. First pitch slider strike from Jobe.
Well, he got Eldridge swinging in the last at bat. He put him away with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
On the 0-1, in the air to center field. Room out there for Max Clark. Calling off and makes the catch. And the side is retired. 1 walk, 1 left. Through 3 in San Francisco, no score. Well, it was a very cool moment before the game today. It was Giants Wall of Fame Day. Buster Posey, Brandon Crawford, Brandon Belt honored 5 total Giants and inducted them into the Wall of Fame here at Oracle Park, and we are excited to have one of those new Wall of Famers, Brandon Crawford, with us up here in the booth. Congratulations, man. Really cool moment before the game to get the chance to be celebrated by this great crowd today.
Yeah, thank you. It was special to go in with that group, too.
1 ball, no strikes on Riley Green, leading off the 4th inning against Landon Roop. And the pitch is low for a ball. Now that you have the benefit of hindsight and your career is behind you, what was it like to play in this place day in and day out and be such a staple of Giants baseball?
I mean, it's just unreal, really. Especially growing up here in the Bay Area and being a Giants fan. And, you know, sitting right down there for so many years and just dreaming of being on the Giants. And then to be able to play here for so long and obviously win a couple World Series also just is as a dream come true and then some.
I mean, there are obvious moments as a fan, like I'd sit here, okay, you won the World Series, you made some great plays. But for you, talk about a moment here that you remember that was super special to you that like might not seem so obvious to everybody. Or did I stump you there?
do you mean here, like here in San Francisco?
In San Francisco, or playing for the Giants, like something that, you know, it's not obvious to everybody.
I mean, I think some of the obvious ones are, you know, Travis Ishikawa hitting the walk-off homer to send us to the World Series. And but, I mean, I think even going back to 2012 when we clinched the division and just how excited the whole team was, obviously, but this whole crowd in the city, just with, you know, the thought that we had just won in 2010 and now we clinched the division and you know, here we go, we're gonna go win another one. Like, that was kind of our mindset.
Legacy is always an odd conversation to have with someone, but now that the days are done where you're on the diamond, how do you want Giants fans to remember you?
Consistent, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that kind of comes to mind when I think back on my career is, you know, I was available and I was able to go out there at short a lot over the course of my career and was able to, I think, play some pretty good consistent defense and then add some timely hitting when I got the opportunity.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Colt Keith with 1 out. Fouled away. Well, I know family throughout your career meant so much to you, and the chance to have your family here today for the Wall of Fame induction. I mean, she may not have been overwhelmingly interested in the Wall of Fame, more interested in the dirt, but it has to be cool to share that with your family.
Very much, yeah. And she doesn't even know me as a Giant.
So. Dad.
She was born in October 2023, so she just missed me as a Giant. But no, to have all them out here obviously means so much to me. And my wife, over the course of my career, did such a great job of being able to manage them and then travel to where I was able to see them as much as possible, and give her all the credit for being able to do that throughout my career.
Do you see yourself moving forward? I mean, you've got a young family, so that's paramount. But being involved in the game or being involved in certain ways?
Yeah, I mean, I helped out very minor on the
Spring
like
training,
amateur amateur scouting actually
Oh, okay.
a little bit. I went back to UCLA and watched Rock Chalaski.
There you go. That was an easy one to decide if you could, right?
Yeah,
hey, he's good.
That's another UCLA shortstop, right? Following your footsteps.
I know it was a big report that I was like, hey, if he's available at fourth, I would probably take him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was able to see him live, and then did some other stuff just through video, scouting some of the other infielders mostly that they would send me, and just kind of give my feedback.
Is there anything specific that would interest you? Like, would you want to get back on the coaching, or do you like? I mean, I'm saying no way, not with a young family, but you know, or do you like, or is what you're doing now enough to keep you sparked? Or
I really enjoy being at home and being with my family. So for now, no, I think something very minor like that. Or maybe helping out at the Arizona facility every once in a while, something like that may interest me. But I focus right now is definitely on my family and watching them grow up, and they're all in sports, so they're keeping me plenty busy at home.
Are you coaching any of those sports, or will you be involved in?
Yeah, flag football.
Oh, stay hot, dude.
Yeah,
so you're doing like you're running plays and practices.
Yeah, giving hand signals from the sideline. All
Dude,
that,
remember,
all that stuff.
It's all about the kids until the game starts.
And then it's all about the coach.
It's all about coach.
The hardest part is trying to figure out all the rules to like get everybody involved. That's the most difficult part. I think calling plays and stuff like that isn't his job.
You got that?
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Max Clark. Runner goes from first, a little hit and run, and Clark fouls it away. So I didn't hear in there that you had a major interest in taking that scouting on the road and beating the bushes throughout college baseball to find the next rock.
I actually really enjoyed it. I would definitely be open to doing it a little bit more often, and not year round or anything. I'm not looking to be a scouting director by any means, but every once in a while, I actually did enjoy it.
You scout Arizona State, Arizona, UCLA, USC. Maybe stay in that area for a while.
A little
regional scout. There's nothing wrong with that. Brandon Crawford with us in the booth in the Wall of Fame with 4 others earlier today prior to this one, and getting a chance to talk with one of the legendary great Giants. Time called.
Yeah, as you played, you know, during a time where, you know, the pitching has completely evolved, meaning that, you know, you weren't facing at the beginning what you were facing at the end. You know, guys throwing 1,000 and trying to just blow it by you. And hitting changed. How did you change, or how did you evolve from the beginning of your career to the end as far as hitting? That's a great question with 2 outs. That is an elite question with 2 outs.
I didn't want to say anything.
I will definitely say that that's part of the reason why I don't miss baseball as much.
Well, there you go.
The pitching is very, very good.
Hey, thanks a lot for being up here. And again, congratulations, man.
All right, no problem. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
It's official. The jersey might.
Time for our Fisher Investments player profile. We take a look at Jung Hoo Lee the last 11 games. Those numbers: 341, 3 homers, 11 runs driven in. The OPS 1.05 and 9 for Jung Hoo Lee. He'll lead it off against Jackson Jobe, who has struck out the first man in every inning tonight. A couple of outstanding defensive plays in right field in the 5th inning last night from Jung-Hoo Lee that really kept the Giants from watching that one slip away.
I mean, he did it on both sides of the ball last night, right? You just mentioned the defense. And, of course, that 2nd inning, the 2-out, 2-run single.
2-1 to Lee, and bouncing ball on the ground to Baez, who backhands and throws across. Good dig by Torkelson at first for out number 1. So 1 down in the Giants' 4th, and here comes Willy Adames. As we were talking to Brandon Crawford, Willy Adames ending that inning with an outstanding over-the-shoulder catch on that little looping liner off the bat of Max Clark. One ball, no strikes on Willy Adames, who popped up to short to end the 1st inning.
Jones, I think he's going to be right on this.
So the challenge overturns the call of ball 1, and it's 1 strike and nothing on Adames, who's 3 for his last 26. Mighty cut there, and he's down 0-2.
Jobe doing a nice job this evening. Is yet to allow the leadoff hitter to get on. This is his 4th inning. Only 1 walk so far surrendered.
Yeah, to this point of your A.J. Hinch, you're pretty happy with what you've seen from Jackson Jobe. The 1-2. Adames able to stay alive. Devers next here in the 4th.
Yeah, right. We're at 58. You know, the pitch count, and if you can get through this inning, that somewhere in the 60s. I mean, do you roll the dice and try and get 5? I mean, that's where this whole managing thing. You know, am I trying to win tonight's ball game? This is Jobe's first appearance since the Tommy John surgery.
Right. And Adames pokes it through the hole on the left side for a base hit.
You know, he's thrown well, and you want to have him leave feeling really good about his outing.
Just gave up his first base hit of the outing, and there's 1 on and 1 out for Rafael Devers. And again, how much of the numbers that we were given in our pregame conversation with A.J. Hinch, how flexible they were to us might be a little less than what they are to them.
I think this is the guy right here that, you know, obviously is your evening. As far as this is somebody who can hit the ball out of the park. He's left-handed. You have success against him. But you still got to pitch to him like this is the ball game. We've got Basabe coming up next. Take a look at the pitch counts by inning.
Had to labor a little last inning. Work around a 1-out walk. No balls, 2 strikes to Rafael Devers, and that's the first one out of the zone that Devers has seen in 6 pitches from Jobe.
Well, when he gets 2 strikes on a hitter, the hitters are, you know, coming into today 13 for 102, a 128 average. No home runs, only 3 extra base hits.
On the ground, might be 2 to second for 1. The return throw and a 4-6-3 double play ends the inning in the 4th, and may have bought Jackson Jobe another inning on the hill for the Tigers.
Subway, eat fresh, feel good.
Everybody waiting and hoping for a souvenir in McCovey Cove. None yet. Only 3 hits combined between these two teams. Both starting pitchers have pitched well, EK, through the first 4 innings. Here in the top of the 5th, a scoreless ball game, and Javi Baez leading it off for the Tigers. Swing and a miss, and Baez quickly in a hole, 0-2. McKinstry and McGonigal to follow, 8-9-1 for the Tigers against Landon Roop.
Kind of interesting because both of these pitchers, you know, granted, Job's track record not that long, but have trouble with the leadoff hitter of an inning. And yet in this ball game, we've yet to have a leadoff hitter for either team reach base.
Job had struck out the first man in each of the first 3 innings, gave up a ground ball out in the 4th. The 1-2 to Baez, and Baez reaching for this one, pops it up left side of the infield. Christian Koss straddling the line, makes the catch, and there is one away here in the 5th. Time for Delivering the Win, sponsored by DQ. And about these Red Sox, 32-46 through June 24th, and since then unstoppable.
You know, I saw them right before they started to get hot. They played a series against the Colorado Rockies in Colorado, and they lost 2 out of 3. And I'll be honest with you, I'm thinking like these dudes are cooked. And they're going to play the Yankees. Since then, they have been cooking and just absolutely a steamroller. That game they had the other night against the White Sox, I don't know if you got a chance to see it.
Oh my gosh.
Easily the best game of the year.
No question.
That I've seen. It was unreal.
1 ball, 1 strike on McKinstry, and a little dribbler up the first base line. Devers is there to the bag for out number 2. Landon Roop getting that soft contact that we talked about at the top of the broadcast. More weak contact induced from Landon Roop than any pitcher in baseball. The Tigers, with that soft contact, haven't been able to get anything done tonight.
And one of the reasons why he keeps the ball in the ballpark as well as any pitcher in the game. You know, he just, as you mentioned, he doesn't allow the hard contact. His trouble has been the base on balls.
There is activity in that Tigers pen. Ty Madden is throwing, so Jackson Jobe may be done through 4 innings tonight. So challenge on that pitch called. There's the bullpen activity with Ty Madden. And the challenge, a strike is called. Already 5 challenges in this game tonight.
5 challenges, and I'm not sure that any of them have been in a leverage situation or a situation where the run expectancy would change.
Easy play at second for Basabe, and an easy inning for Landon Roop as the Tigers go down in order 1, 2, 3.
One day,
Above and Beyond, sponsored by Jersey Mike's. And I don't know if Jackson Jobe has gone above and beyond, because A.J. Hinch said this was kind of what he was expecting from his young right-hander in his first start back from Tommy John surgery. But he has certainly performed at the level expected from his manager, A.J. Hinch.
Yeah, I don't think he could be any happier up to this point. You know, he's been around the zone. He's only walked 1 hitter. Just got Devers on a big double play. Not allowed a leadoff hitter to get on base.
And McGonigal makes sure that that is still the case as Basabe is thrown out for out number 1 of the 5th. Well, that's 44 strikes and 23 balls. Really nice ratio for Jackson Jobe in his first start in 14 months. There's that bullpen. Ty Madden has been up. Tyler Holton has joined him now. 1 out in the 5th, and Drew Gilbert to the plate. Gilbert flew out to center in the 2nd to end the 2nd inning. Balls, no strikes on Drew Gilbert. Eddie's Leonard to follow here in the Giants' 5th. Popped up shallow right field. McKinstry on the run in. He'll make the catch. 2 gone. So Eddie's Leonard in the 3rd start of his big league career, 0 for 1 with a strikeout tonight. Comes up with the bases empty and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Off the end of the bat, back to Job, who is now through 5 innings, and a 7-pitch 5th inning sends Jackson Job right back to the Tigers dugout in a scoreless game. Well, Jackson Job getting some handshakes and hugs after his first start in 14 months. 5 innings, allowing 1 hit, shutout baseball. As we move to the 6th inning, and Landon Roop matching him pitch for pitch, but looked like a young man who has finished his work for the day. First start in 14 months.
I mean, really couldn't have gone any better for the Tigers and Jackson Job. You just wait until tomorrow, see how he comes out of things. But for your first start, coming back from Tommy John, this wasn't just let's ease into it. This is I mean, I'm not saying it's a must-win game, but it's a must-win game, right? We're at the stage of, you know, every game is important for Detroit. And he absolutely answered the bell.
Meanwhile, this all of a sudden cool Tigers offense, they've gone scoreless in the last 12 innings of this series. This after averaging 9 runs per game in the previous 8 games. So kudos to the Giants pitching staff. They've done a pretty good job of cooling out with one of the hottest offenses in baseball.
Well, they have. And last night, 1 for 12, the Tigers, with runners in scoring position. But I'll go back, you know, that 2nd inning, a base running gaff by the Tigers cost them a run. No question.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Torres. Fights off a tough curveball, and it's still 3-2. This Tigers offense, 5 or more runs in 11 of the 20 games since the break. They've won 5 of the 7 games they've played so far on the West Coast on this trip, and 51 runs scored in those 5 wins. It's been an offense that's clicking. But here in San Francisco, it has been cooled off as Torres becomes the first leadoff man to reach with a walk here in the 6th inning. Time for our sleeper picks, sponsored by Mattress Firm. And your sleeper picks tonight, how about these 2 starters? Really good efforts from both right-handers tonight.
Yeah, you just didn't know Jackson Job coming back after almost a little over a year off with the Tommy John, and then Landon Roop. You know, again, he's been kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. The last 2 starts haven't been good. Go back to the month of April, and he was as good as any pitcher in baseball. And he looks a lot like April this evening.
3rd walk, though, of the night issued to Torres to start off this 6th inning, and now he's behind 2-0 to the dangerous Dylan Dingler. Riley Green, Colt Keith to follow here in the Tigers' 6th. And now ball 3.
6 of the last 7 pitches have gone for balls for Roop.
Dingler waiting on the 3-0. And that's ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to Dingler on the heels of the walk to Gleyber Torres. 2 on and nobody out in the Tiger 6. Tomorrow on Fox, the stars of IndyCar are going full throttle in Portland. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern, only on Fox. Pitching coach Justin Message on his way to the mound.
Now, last time he made a trip, that was in that 2nd inning after San Francisco it botched a few balls defensively, and it did not look good. But he went out there and changed the momentum a little bit. It was a great mound visit, and then Landon Roop retired the next couple of hitters and got out of that inning without giving up any runs. And looking to do the same thing with the visit here.
Two on and nobody out, and here's Riley Green. And a strike over the outside corner. Raver San Martin starting to throw in that Giants pen. Keaton Wynn also loosening up. The 1-1. Big cut. And Green empty on the change. 1-2. Tigers are 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position today, but the one hit was that pop to left that Leonard overran. Green stays alive on the 1-2.
So what are we saying? We're not really going to count that as
I mean, it's technically a hit.
I'm right there with you.
But I'll put an asterisk by it, if you will.
Right. No, dude, I wanted to put an E7. I didn't want to forget the asterisk.
That's why they don't ever let you officially score these games. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Excellent change from Landon Roop, and he gets a big first out. That's 3 times tonight that Green is struck out.
You see this thing, it starts at the bottom part of the zone and then just dives right out of it. Really a big strikeout. Those mound visits have paid off so far.
Justin Message should write a book. 2 on with 1 out, and the pitch is high for a ball.
Well, this is the guy that has an opportunity. You see the pitching coach, Justin Message, right there. But Colt Keith up at the plate has an opportunity to make up for that misread on the base running. He should have been on third base, instead first and second, and then does not score on what that you deemed a hit. If he would have been at third, the Tigers would be up 1-0.
You didn't deem it a hit. And now 3-0 on Colt Keith. Way out of the zone, and the bases are loaded with 3 walks in the 6th inning.
3 walks in this inning, and 2 of those walks were 4-pitch walks. And you mentioned like that at bat, not really close at all.
And that's going to be the end of the night for Landon Roop. He's allowed 2 hits. He's walked 3 in the 6th inning. And his night after 84 pitches is done. Spencer Torkelson will bat against a new Giants pitcher with a bases loaded next. A frustrated Landon Roop is looking on now. All he can do is watch as Keaton Wynn has come on with the bases loaded to face Spencer Torkelson, who takes ball 1 outside.
You see Roop not thrilled at all. He's like, oh, no. But remember, there had already been a visit to the mound. Tony Vitello, he's coming out. And then now you'll see Landon, he puts his glove over his mouth and he starts talking to Tony as he comes out. But look, the reality is you walk 3 guys that inning and, won a 0-0 ball game.
Such an odd outing. The only strikeouts he had were Riley Green.
And you see right there, he's talking right now, and it's, glove over mouth, so you can't read the lips.
But it didn't matter. He was out no matter what.
Yeah,
you can say whatever you want.
And
he's gone.
Here's the thing. So he had 5 walks this evening. 3 of them were to Colt Keith. Yep. But of those 3 of those 5 walks, 4 pitches. And 2 of them in this inning. Like, I get it. You want to compete, but it's tough to keep you out there.
2-1 to Torkelson and a strike. He's going to challenge. that 2-1 strike call. And he's going to be right. He is. It's ball 3. Adrian Johnson behind the plate. Call overturned, and it's 3-1. Torkelson with a base hit. A little squibber in the second. The 3-1. Inside, ball 4, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. The 4th walk of the inning, forcing in the game's first run. RBI number 59 on the year for Torkelson. And losing the strike zone costs the Giants a run.
And watch Landon Roop. Yeah, he's watching, and then look at that. And it's the stare down to the end of the bench to the manager, which that's not cool.
And on the first pitch, a foul off the bat of Max Clark.
And obviously he's frustrated. There's no doubt about it. He's got every right to be frustrated. But you done brought that on yourself. Like, that's the reality of it. You know, and that is 3 walks. Like I said, 2 of them were 4-pitch. You know, what do you expect the manager to do?
So a 1-0 Detroit lead. Clark down a strike. And 0-2 on Max Clark. Dingler at third with Keith at second and Torkelson at first. Everyone reaching via the free pass in the inning. Swing and a miss. Chase the splitter, and Clark is out number 2.
That's a huge pitch by Wynn. Getting Clark to offer it something out of the zone, and the best he's going to do is pound it into the ground. It's really a great offering. Now he's just got to finish the job here. He can get out of this with just 1 run. It's basically a Houdini act.
Baez, a dangerous hitter. Big cut from Javi Baez on the slider. Tigers already with their 5th plate appearance tonight with the bases loaded. Came up empty in the second on back-to-back bases loaded plate appearances. One of them from Javi Baez. Good block by Cavanaugh. 1-1 on Baez. Dingler at third, at second is Keith, at first is Torkelson. At the plate is Baez as Roop looks on. One ball, 2 strikes.
Shoot, up to this point right now, we've had the true outcome inning, right? A couple of strikeouts, a couple of walks.
1 strike away from finishing that off.
Yeah.
Wynn is ready, trying to wriggle out of a jam. The 1-2. Another good block by Cavanaugh. Baez wouldn't chase that slider.
Yeah, Cavanaugh doing a nice job. And what that does is that breeds confidence in Wynn in throwing that pitch down in the zone. And remember, he got Max Clark to swing at something in the dirt. And Baez, a very free swinger. Cavanaugh doing a great job behind the dish.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3 outside. Javi Baez, 9 grand slams in his career. He's a .305 hitter with the bases loaded, and it comes down to a 3-2 pitch. Wynn is ready. Baez stands in. Runners go, and it's a called 3rd strike. Baez will challenge the call. And he's now saying he can't challenge. Adrian Johnson saying it's too late. You walked out of the batter's box and challenged. That's a called 3rd strike. And the inning is over. Wynn gets out of it, allowing the 1 run. Landon Roop, little applause for his pitching mate. 1-0 lead for the Tigers. Bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher is Tyler Holton, the left-hander for the Tigers. And that means a pinch hitter with Daniel Susac stepping in for Drew Kavanaugh. And Susac takes ball 1. One ball, no strikes, and a strike over the outside corner to Susac. Koss and Eldridge to follow in the 6th. See the numbers for Daniel Susac. Hard hit to center, but Clark is there to make the catch. And there's one gone in the 6th. Well, Landon Roop, you know he had to be happy for Keaton Wynn that he got out of that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, especially just allowing 1 run. Yeah, thank you. I mean, really, you know, Tony Vitello coming out and look at, he had to make that move. Roop had walked 3 hitters. And then Wynn comes in, he walks the first guy, you're thinking, oh man, it wasn't. But then he retires the next 2. Strikes them both out and really minimized. To get out of there with just 1 run, absolutely the right move and really a really good outcome for the Giants.
Tyler Holton on in relief of Jackson Jobe, who went 5 in his debut. And with that run scored in the 6th inning by the Tigers, Jobe is in line for a potential win in his return to the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Christian Koss. One ball, 2 strikes. Holton ready. In the air to right. Playable for McKinstry. He'll drift back towards the field to play, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Go all in on game nights with MLB Plus. Stream MLB Network 24/7 in the U.S. and select out-of-market games every week. Plus live radio broadcasts of every game, game day 3D, big inning, and minor league action. Visit MLB.com/MLB Plus to subscribe today. So 2 down in the top of the order. Bryce Eldridge, lefty versus lefty, and he looks at ball 1. Eldridge, a strikeout and a flyout tonight. Both of those against Jobe. On the ground to the right side, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Holton. Giants down quietly in the 6th, and through 6 in San Francisco in Baseball Night in America. It's a 1-0 lead for Detroit. IndyCar transforms the streets of the nation's capital into one of the most spectacular races in motorsports. A once-in-a-lifetime race as America celebrates 250 years. The Freedom 250, live Sunday, August 23rd, only on Fox. A cool moment here as Trent Harris makes his Major League Baseball debut. The 27-year-old from North Carolina. Pitched 3 years at High Point, 2 years at North Carolina Pembroke. Signed as an undrafted free agent by the Giants in 2023. And here he is at the age of 27 years old, making his big league debut tonight. Family on hand, and not sure who's got more butterflies, Trent on the mound or family in the stands. McKinstry rifles this one into the gap, and that's going to split the gap and roll all the way to the wall. McKinstry around second. It'll be a ground rule double. The arms are up in the outfield. McKinstry around third. He's headed for home, and he is going to be waved off. It is a ground rule double. He thought it was an inside the park home run. Umpires were a little late to make the call that the ball had gotten stuck out in right center field. It's a double for McKinstry to start the 7th.
Well, Lee put his arms up. There's no question about it. He got out there. He saw the ball was lodged underneath the fence. He put the hands up. Trust me, his hands are up. They get in it. The ball's lodged there. So he does everything right. McKinstry just got in some sprints for sure. But a heads-up play by Lee, because he didn't just go in and try to pick it. He noticed it, understood the ground rules, the situation. Really a heads-up play.
And it doesn't have to be impossible to get. It just has to be stuck, even for a moment. If you acknowledge it, it's a ground rule double. Fastball at 95 for a strike to Kevin McGonigal.
And if I'm McGonigal right now, I'm even thinking about taking a bunt with me. I mean, I've got to just get that guy to third, because the way the run scoring has been, I'm going against the Giants offense or you flip one on the dirt
and score a run with McKinstry
that's
around, and now the throw in is cut off, but not in time, and on the throw McGonigal goes to second. It's an RBI single, and it's 2-0 Detroit.
Again, we talked about how great the Giants defense was last night. This is another play. This is left fielder. There's no play at home. You see this ball comes off the bat at 62 miles an hour. It's an excellent pitch. There's no question about it. This ball even lands on the dirt. But there's no reason at all to come up and throw home. You just put a runner in scoring position. Really just an inexcusable play by the left fielder there. And now you've got the situation where you're down 2, got a runner on second.
Well, it's been a rough night in left field for Eddie's Leonard. Saw him overrun a ball early in the ball game.
That was a hit.
That was a hit. Through here when he shouldn't have. How about this game, though? Last inning, 7 Tigers go to the plate. Not one of them puts the ball in play, but they snap a 12-inning scoreless streak. Now in this inning, 2 batters, 2 hits and a run. And Torres pokes that one up the middle. Gloved by Basabe, the throw to first in time. On the play, McGonigal moves to third with 1 out.
Seeing right there, that is a potential double play. If the left fielder would have properly thrown to second base. And you go back to that play, the runner, McKinstry, was already around third before he'd even touched the ball and left.
Here's Dingler, a runner at third, the infield in. 1 strike and nothing on Dingler.
You take a look at this now. Watch where McKinstry is. I mean, he's 6 steps past before you even get there. And there's no reason. And there's 2 things that can be done. The third baseman can start pointing to second base and really get himself out of position for even a cutoff. So then you take away the option. The left fielder absolutely should know what to do as well. But, you know, you can help a guy out.
Instead, the run scores, and now that runner at second is at third with 1 out. And Dingler, with an opportunity, if he puts the ball in play to the outfield, is going to score the 3rd Detroit run.
Now that pitch was clearly a strike, too. And surprised that they did not challenge.
2-2 on Dingler.
You know, Susek just in the game, but that curveball, I mean, very little of that ball was outside of the strike zone. Perfect time to challenge and did not do it.
And Dingler stays alive at 2-2. Dingler, a rope down the line. That's a fair ball into the corner. Scoring is McGonigal. Dingler to second with an RBI double and a 3-0 Tigers lead.
Well, Detroit has clearly opened things up, and now you see Tony Vitello coming out, and this curveball just backed up. But as I said earlier, he had struck Dingler out, but because there was no challenge by Susac, he stayed alive and then delivers that double.
So the major league debut of Trent Harris, a rough one. Back to the bullpen go the Giants.
Listen!
Tigers with a 3-0 lead, still hitting here in the top of the 7th with 1 out over the San Francisco Giants. Time for our Clorox team leaders, and Dylan Dingler is leading this Tigers team. He hopes back to the postseason, but he's leading in home runs. He's leading in runs driven in. He's leading in runs scored.
Yeah, really having an exceptional season, doing a great job behind the dish as well.
Tops among all catchers in the American League in those categories. And on the first pitch, Riley Green, a looper into left. That'll drop for a base hit. Slamming on the brakes at third is Dingler. Runners at the corners with 1 out as Green gets his first hit of the night after 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, jumped all over a 91-mile-an-hour sinker. Take a look at those numbers. Didn't waste any time. Green, you're not going to get an opportunity to get loose. That first pitch jumped all over it.
So now pinch hitter Eduardo Valencia coming on, replacing Colt Keith.
Keith had a perfect night, right? 0 for 0 with 3
0
walks.
for 0. It's almost as if he didn't play. Ball 1 outside.
I mean, Detroit, they have the opportunity to really put the game away right now. 1 out. You've got to at least get this 1 run in. And San Francisco, they're looking for the double play right here, just to stay within striking distance. 9 outs to go offensively for them.
On the ground, foul off the bat of Valencia, but it's been mistakes, misplays, errors. It's not been a clean game tonight for the Giants, and the reason they're down 3-0.
No, not at all. And you know, it's one of the things where you talk about the mistakes or the misplays, and you know, again, the walks as well. I mean, it's to be expected too. You've got a team, an inexperienced ball club, and you're going to have games like that the rest of the way. I think I saw something the other day where Tony had mentioned, Vitello, that yes, the results are important, but most important is, you know, to see growth and to see improvement day to day, because that's what, you know, you're running out young guys, and some of these guys are getting an opportunity, and they may not get another opportunity, but you have a chance to show some things. And you know, look at, he's in a real tough spot, Tony Vitello, and you know, he took a team that thought was going to be competing for a playoff spot at the beginning of the year, and it's not the case now.
No, we showed you that graphic earlier. 8 Giants making their big league debut this year. That's a tough task for any manager, let alone a guy getting his first taste of managing in the big leagues. Three-two pitch. And Valencia on a line to center. Gilbert came in, comes back. He never saw it. It bounces on the track all the way to the wall. Dingler scores. They're going to wave Green around third. He's chugging home. It's a 2-run double. And they have indeed opened it up in the 7th. 5-0 Detroit.
You can see the sun just right in his eyes, and you see Gilbert, he goes back, he doesn't see it at all, and it's, you know, if you're watching at home, you're thinking, well, look, you've got the sunglasses on the hat, like, you know, how is that helping? But to be fair, there are a lot of times the reason you have them on your hat is, oh, well, now you can't put them on now. I was gonna give him an out. I was gonna say, like, you're not gonna pick it up at all. But that's worse. Like, if I'm standing out there, I'm like, there's no chance in holy heck that I'm putting these things on. I'm gonna say that I couldn't see with them on, but you put them on now, not a good look.
Torkelson challenging the call of a strike, and it is a ball. The call overturned. So it's 2-0. 7 challenges tonight, and the players have been good on all 7. The 2-0 hit on the ground to Adames at short. Loads up and throws across for out number 2. Sure, I've had a game this year, EK, that 7-0 in challenges.
Well,
first time for everything.
Thank the home plate umpire for that, right?
And you thought there should have been at least one more challenge in this game.
100%.
Susac up in that 6th inning.
Well, no, it was actually this inning.
This inning.
It was this inning, and it changes the whole complexion of this inning. It looms even larger. Because instead of Dingler hitting a double, he strikes out, and it's 2 outs. You know, one run is in.
Yep.
Right. 2 outs, 1 run in. Guy on first base.
Hard hit. Right center field. Gilbert on the run. He's not going to get there. It's off the base of the wall. Valencia scores easily on his way to third. With a triple is Max Clark. 6-0 Tigers.
Well, you see this ball as you get into the wall. No way Gilbert can run that down. Speaking about running, Clark moving all the way the entire time. He's sniffing it.
Baez first pitch swinging. Oh, what a pickup by Adames. The throw is wide. The run will score. Terrific effort by Willie Adames, but Baez has an RBI on an infield hit, and it's 7-0 Detroit as the Tigers bat around in the 7th.
Adames makes a great play just by getting there, and then the athleticism to just turn and make the throw just offline a bit. Just a great effort just getting there.
Here's McKinstry, who started it all this inning with a double. 1 ball, no strikes. 6 runs in the inning on 7 hits.
And how about tonight? The Tigers 7 for 14 with runners in scoring position after being 1 for 12 last night.
Well, this is more reminiscent of what we've seen from this Tigers offense since the All-Star break. The 2-0 on the ground. Gloved Basabe, throw to first in time. 10 men bat in the inning. 6 men score in the inning, and as we stretch, the Tigers have broken it open in the Bay. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats. I'm not sure those hats were official, and hoodies. We've got the season covered. Visit MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. Tyler Holton, who threw 9 pitches last time out in the 6th inning, stays on the mound to start the 7th. Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adames, and Rafael Devers due up for the Giants, who have work to do, down 7 runs here in the blink of an eye, really. A 1-0 game going into the top half of the inning, but the Tigers have blown it open. Ball, 2 strikes to Lee, who has grounded out to the shortstop Javi Baez twice tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned it. I mean, this was actually a real clean ball game. And as you mentioned, 1-0 going into that inning, and just a couple of miscues by the Giants. First of all, the errant throw, not even an errant throw, but the throwing to the cutoff man instead of just getting the ball into second to prevent the runner from going to second, getting in scoring position. And then for me, the non-challenge that would have been strike 3 to Dylan Dingler, and instead allows him to prolong the at-bat, hits a double, and then it just snowballed after that.
Well, the margin is so slim at this level between winning and losing that even little things like that become magnified.
Well, and the thing is, the Giants right now, their experience or lack of experience, it doesn't allow them to make mistakes. They don't rebound from that. Not with this ball club.
Lee is out number 1 on the ground ball to Torres.
Tony's going to have to, I mean, he's going to be playing teacher the next 2 months.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the reality of it.
When we talked to him about that earlier, and I asked him if this was something he was having to go back to kind of his college coaching days. You've got to do more teaching and coaching than you would a team of veterans. You got a lot of young guys whose eyes are wide and heads are spinning a little bit because all of a sudden they're in the big leagues.
Yeah. Well, and I think it'll be beneficial for definitely for the players if he does decide to be more proactive and to be more interactive. And again, that's his background, and that's one of his many strengths.
The 1-1 pitch to Adames.
If you look at this Giants ball club, I mean, I don't think you can fault Buster Posey for what he did in the offseason and putting this team in a situation. On paper, if you go track record, they looked like they were going to be competitive, but you saw the injuries and the non-performance. They've been forced to give guys opportunities that probably aren't ready. They've had to make the hard decision to go in a different direction.
And you are in a division, too, that is an unforgiving division.
Sure.
The Dodgers, we all know what they're doing. Torey Lovullo has the Arizona Diamondbacks playing terrific baseball right now. The Padres are right in the mix for this opportunity to go to the wild card. Entered the day just 2 games back of a wild card spot. Well, you're playing those a lot as the Adames on a challenge is called out on strikes for the 2nd out of the 7th inning.
But I think, like, if you're a ball club in the NL West, I mean, your concern ought to be just how can our ball club play the best baseball that it can play, and how do we get to the postseason? It's not so much, hey, I want to win the division, or I want, yeah, I get it, but I want to just get to the postseason. Right. If I get to the postseason, I got a shot. And again, going into this year, if you looked at the Giants, figured, yeah, they're one of 6 teams as far as if guys play to the level that is expected, stay healthy. But it just, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for this ball.
See the NL West standings. All 3 of those teams at the top are in the mix for a playoff spot. Diamondbacks are, if the season ended today, actually in the playoffs, as Devers did not go, according to Ramon DeJesus at third.
Yeah, Dodgers have lost 7 straight. You know, they're not playing good baseball at all right now. I mean, you look around the landscape, and I mean, you can make the case for a lot of teams that, yeah, I could see them winning this thing. I could see them. Now, granted, you know, I'd still say that, hey, look at, you know, all in all, if everybody plays like they think they can and there's health, yeah, the Dodgers are the deepest, but that doesn't mean anything. That means they're the deepest.
When you see the wild card race, Cubs have a pretty substantial lead over the Diamondbacks and Phillies for that wild card. Devers hop up into foul territory. No one could catch that long run for Riley Green, but you see the Diamondbacks and the Phillies are right there battling for that second wild card spot. And then right behind them, you've got the Padres who are in chase, and the Padres made some deals at the deadline that they think are going to help them catch up. And how about the Marlins hanging around 3.5 games out of a wild card?
I mean, like, I'm looking at that right there, and I'm saying, you know, I would not want to play the Phillies in a short series just because of the pitching. But I'm also looking at it and saying, Phillies could find themselves on the outside looking in. So still a lot of baseball ahead, a lot of season.
Tyler Holton, a shutdown 7th and a 7-0 lead for his Tigers.
Clean, it's got to be tied.
Well, the beauty of baseball is in its story. It's a 162-chapter novel that delivers one new chapter a day, and the narrators of that novel are familiar voices. They really become your friends. We welcome them into our homes every summer, and for 3 decades plus, Giants fans have had the duo of Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow with them in their homes narrating their season. At the end of this year, Mike Krukow will retire from the booth. What a legacy of information and a legacy of fun he will leave behind. And look, Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow are both going to be in the Hall of Fame someday. It doesn't happen very often, but here's hoping they go in as they came to Giants fans for all these years together. It would be a very cool moment for Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow to end up in the Hall of Fame as a duo, like they've been in your homes and in your lives for so many years. The very best to Mike Krukow and his family. The Giants and their fans are going to miss him every single day next season.
Yeah, you know, one of the things, you know, for me, you know, I've been coming here for 20 years doing broadcasting, and every single time I've come here, Mike Krukow stops by, asks me how I'm doing, and then wants to know if I need anything for the ball club. And so, you know, today I'm up here, and you know, I was talking to Charlene, our stage manager, and I just said, hey, you know, is Kruk going to be up here at all? And, you know, she's like, he's already been up here. He's going to be down. I'll be darned, you know, about 30 minutes later, who comes into the booth but Kruk? And I mean, I was so happy to see him, and I told him how much I appreciated him, not just the way he treated me for the last 20 years. Always, you know, very genuine, asking me how I was doing, you know, and very helpful, and like you don't get that. And it wasn't just an act of responsibility or like it was a job. And I told him, man, like I'm talking to him, and I'll be honest with you, I got teary-eyed. Like you know, I'm gonna miss that man because he is. And I don't know him that well, but my interactions, like I can just go on talking about how great a human being he is. And you know, the San Francisco fans, I mean, they realize they've had it great. He and Kite, outstanding.
As a broadcasting nerd and a baseball nerd, you watch these games. You grow up watching the greats and the legends to do it. And I met him for the first time tonight, and I said, I feel like I know you. And he goes, oh, you do. That's the feeling that great broadcasters who join you every single day. And baseball's unique that way. No other sport brings you that kind of connection that local baseball broadcasts bring. It's something that is there are local NBA broadcasts, there are local radio broadcasts, but there's just something about the length of the season and time spent in the summer listening to and watching this game for 162 games.
Yeah.
Two balls and a strike on Dylan Dingler with 2 out in the Tiger 8th. Wayne Kuiper will continue his role in the broadcast next season, and he'll be shepherding another young analyst in that chair. On the ground, left side, charging is Koss at third, and the throw across in time. A 1-2-3 inning for Carson Seymour as the Tigers go down in order. Mike Krukow, beloved in the Bay Area, and for good reason.
We've all been there. You see.
Today's telecast is sponsored by Geico. Savings and service. Get you great savings and service here. Some great names into the Giants Wall of Fame. And a thanks again to Brandon Crawford, who joined us earlier in the broadcast, representing that group that went in earlier before the game. New pitcher on the hill is Ty Madden for the Tigers. He'll face Basabe, Gilbert, and Leonard here in the 8th, 12th appearance of the year for Madden. Slavius Basabe, 0 for 2 tonight, even in the count 1-1. Bottom of the 8th, Giants with 1 base hit, a single by Adames in the 4th. Basabe, shallow left. Baez running out, makes the catch. 1 gone in the 8th.
How about the Tigers working on another shutout as well? Scoring run differential as well. Again, they're coming upon a stretch where they play the Guardians and the White Sox.
Huge stretch.
And I mean, they couldn't be playing better baseball going into it.
First pitch, Gilbert to left for Green. Who's there to make the catch? Out number 2. And there's so many comparisons that are going to come up with the Tigers, especially if they win some of those games and really firmly are back in this race, to what happened in 2024. Detroit was 7.5 back at one point. They came back, eventually get the win and get into the playoffs and make that great run to the postseason. And you asked AJ about that earlier today when we were sitting with him.
I mean, they know that they have done it, and sure, there are some different faces, but you know, you look at this Tigers ball club and what they've done since June 1st. It's not an anomaly. It's not just, oh, we just got hot here and we found ourselves in the race.
The 0-1 to Leonard low.
They're going to have to hit. I mean, that's the bottom line. Yes, they're going to have to pitch, but the offense is going to have to continue to be dominant. But you get Flaherty back. You know, hopefully the end of August, beginning of September. Kerry Carpenter on the offensive side. You know, you see some things that, okay, and you look at the teams that you're chasing, and nobody screams out that, hey, we're running away with it.
No, everybody's got flaws.
Correct.
Like you said, for the Tigers, this is now 2 months of consistent good offense. 1-2 fouled right back underneath us.
Saw a lot of movement on your end there.
I reached out.
Athleticism.
I was just reaching out to save the laptop, if nothing else. Roped foul by Leonard. Priorities. I figured, you know, I'm working with a legendary ball player in Eric Karros, known for not only a terrific bat but a great glove. I figured you'd spring to action.
Figured wrong.
I clearly. All these games we've done together, and not one time have I ever seen you dive to save me.
Dude, I dive, I wouldn't get up.
As long as you saved me, I wouldn't care. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Leonard with a base hit to left. So Eddie's Leonard got his first big league hit on Wednesday, and Leonard tacks on a base hit here, the second of the night for the Giants.
Yeah, Giants haven't had a base runner since the 4th inning. You mentioned Adames with the base hit.
You know, for Eddie's Leonard, he went over 3,000 plate appearances in the minor leagues from when he signed in 2017 to get to Wednesday when he had his first big league hit. Two down for Susac, and the 0-1 hit foul down the right field line and out of play. 0-2. Base hit by Leonard ended a 12-in-a-row streak set down by Tigers pitching from that base hit off the bat of Adames in the 4th. No balls, 2 strikes. Looking like tomorrow's game between these two teams will be the rubber game in the series. Logan Webb going against Troy Melton. Nice pitching matchup. Still 0-2 on Susac.
Yeah, Logan Webb had a great month of June for the Giants. And then one of the best pitchers in the game when he's going right.
Troy Melton's just been
right?
solid all year.
Yes, he has.
Swing and a miss. Susac chasing that one out of the zone, and that'll retire the side in the Giants' 8th through 8th, all Tigers. Top of the 9th inning, 7-0 Tigers at the plate. Riley Green leading it off. Buddy Kennedy into the ball game at first base. A slew of changes here for the Giants. Nate Furman in now at second base. Grant McCray taking over in right field. And Basabe moving over to short. And a 4-pitch walk. Riley Green leads off the 9th with a walk. The 7th inning is when this game changed. The Tigers got hot and broke open a 1-0 game, scoring 6 in the 7th inning.
Yeah, they hit around, and they were 6 for 8 that inning with runners in scoring position. This is after an evening where they went 1 for 12, but this Tiger lineup just was relentless that inning. There were a few miscues by the Giant defense. But again, Detroit finds themselves with an opportunity to win a series tomorrow.
One ball, no strike on Eduardo Valencia.
White Sox right now are beating Cleveland 5-3 in the top of 7. Minnesota and Milwaukee are tied up at 3 in the 8th. So some AL Central news for you.
Ben Malgiri running over at first. And Valencia fouls it at the plate, 1-2. Hard hit ball to center. Gilbert going to have room out there to make the catch. One gone in the ninth. Eric Karros was given the scoreboard rundown. There's the standings entering play today. White Sox with the 2-game lead over the Guardians and Twins. And mentioned it, the Tigers have Cleveland and the White Sox coming up next week.
Yeah, stretch of 6 games, and you know, a lot's going to be made in just this next week, but nothing is going to be decided. Right?
No.
There's still a month and a half to go, and so much baseball. That's certainly going to be fun for the dog days of August. And you're playing games that you've got to win. They're super important right now for all of these ball clubs.
Well, it's such a unique situation. You don't expect the team that trades away pitchers like Skubal and Mize to be discussing a week that's significant from the standpoint of being in a playoff chase. Ball gets away, and to second goes Malgiri.
Well, I think you could easily make a case of Detroit winning the division, and you could also see them not going to the postseason. Watching this club and again seeing where they're at, I'm going to find it hard to believe that they're not playing October baseball. I mean, that stretch they went through in May with all the injuries and then just the way they played. I mean, for them to even find themselves in this spot is really a testament to the players and AJ at the helm.
What was it AJ said when we were talking with him before the game? Said the problem in May was we just could not absorb the volume of injuries that we had.
Yeah, I mean, they were hit everywhere, and on top of that, they didn't play well. Kenley had a rough month. The future Hall of Fame closer. But they're in a good spot now. I mean, they really are.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Torkelson, 1 out, and Malgiri at second. And that's ball 4. Torkelson draws the second walk of the inning. And time for our Good Hands play, sponsored by Allstate. And how about the play early in this game from Max Clark? Second inning, fighting the sun, makes the catch against the wall. A huge play in the second that robbed Drew Gilbert. Kept things rolling for Jackson Jobe, who's in line for the win tonight.
Yeah, it really was a heck of a defensive play. As you mentioned, he just, no regard for his body right there. Fighting the sun the whole way, makes a great catch.
Ball pops out of the glove of Susac, and to third goes Malgiri. So the wild pitch moving Malgiri to third. 2 balls, no strikes on Max Clark. Clark drove in a run with a triple in the 7th, part of that 6-run 7th inning. 3-1 on Max Clark. Slow roller throw to second for one. The return throw to first not in time. The run will score from third in Malgiri. And an 8-0 Detroit lead.
Kenny does a nice job. Rotation gets a good feed. And Seymour over there trying to cover first and just can't catch it.
Biggest challenge as a first baseman with that throw.
I mean, there really isn't a challenge.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just if you're athletic enough to spin, and Kenny did a nice job and get your head around quick and pick up the target at second base. I think with any of those plays, all you're trying to do is make sure you get one. You can't get two unless you get the first one.
Baez on the ground. He's got his second hit of the night. Javi Baez keeps things going in the Tiger ninth. 10th hit for the Tigers. Lee pinch running for Baez over at first. And McKinstry coming up empty on a big cut.
And McKinstry, though, I mean, he really changed the whole tone of this ball game in that 7th inning. That leadoff double to start things, and then, you know, that's when things just unwound for the Giants. But at the time, a 1-run ball game.
When the Giants had a little momentum, Keaton Wynn had come in and gotten out of that jam, allowing just the 1 run. It was a 1-0 game. Brought on Trent Harris, and rough first big league outing for Harris. McKinstry didn't really allow him to get settled. It was a double off the bat of McKinstry. McGonigal drove him in. Ground ball out, but then a double, a single, a double, triple, and a single in the inning. 3 balls and a strike to McKinstry. And ball 4. McKinstry will load him up with a walk, but a challenge first. Giants will challenge the call of ball 4. And it is a ball. Bases are loaded. Every Tiger hitter has reached at least once today. 10 hits and 9 walks tonight.
Yeah, the 9 free passes just can't happen. Right? It's, you know, that's something that, you know, you put the ball club at a disadvantage. And you go back to that inning in the 6th where there were 4 walks. 2 of them were 4-pitch walks.
Back to the top of the order, and McGonigal with the bases loaded. One ball, 1 strike. Kevin McGonigal, back in the day with Max Clark, teammates on the 2022 U18 national team. Quick rise from there to the big leagues, and both playing big roles with this Tigers surge in August. 1 ball, 1 strike on McGonigal. And now 1-2 the count on the Tiger leadoff man. Carson Seymour has thrown 41 pitches in relief, trying to get out of this inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. McGonigal staying alive. "15 of the Tigers' 19 runners have come from the 6th inning on tonight."
Well, we had ourselves a heck of a ball game, right?
We had a pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
Landon Roop and Jackson Jobe. Fouled against the screen. Things changed right around that 6th inning.
I think, though, you look for Detroit, 2 things coming out of this evening that are great. First and foremost, Jackson Jobe.
No question.
And what he did. And then, of course, the offense and this 8-0 lead. You couldn't ask for a better ball game for the Tigers.
Bases loaded, and the 2-2 pitch to McGonigal. Again, stays alive. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming to McGonigal. Bullpen going again. Jason Foley loosening for the Giants. The 2-2. Slow roller. That's a fair ball. Scooped up by Seymour in the throw to first in time. And that'll retire the side. Out of all that, only 1 run for the Tigers in the 9th, but they are in control, up by 8. Eight-0 lead for the Tigers. 9-1-2 coming up for the Giants here in the 9th inning. Couple of changes. Zach McKinstry moving over to shortstop. He's in his 3rd position of the night. Algieri stays in left. And Lee at second base. Christian Koss at the plate. Eldridge and McRae to follow. There's Lee at second. The 0-2 to Christian Koss. No swing on appeal to first. 1-2 on Koss. Ty Madden in his 2nd inning of work. Jobe with the first 5. He's in line for the win in his return. Tyler Holton went 2 shutout innings, and now Madden into his 2nd. The 1-2. 2-hopper to short. McKinstry across, and there's 1 away. Back to the top of the order, and Bryce Eldridge. 0 for 3 tonight. One ball, no strikes. On the ground, gloved at first. The flip to Madden covering, and there's 2 away. And the Giants down to their final out. So Nate Furman will bat with 2 down in the 9th. One ball, no strikes. Furman came up after the deadline August 1st from AAA Sacramento. He was hitting .284 in 95 games down there with 7 homers, 42 runs driven in. Former 4th round pick of the Guardians in the 2022 draft. Came over in a trade for Alex Cobb. He was the infamous player to be named later.
Well, we also learned, this evening, Marcelo Meyer is going to go out on a rehab stint, and they hope to get him out here pretty soon. Probably get an opportunity to, a lot of infield reps. Second base, probably.
Former top prospect in the Red Sox organization. 3 balls and a strike to Nate Furman. On the ground, this should do it. Lead at first. The inning is over, and the game belongs to the Detroit Tigers. Their 13th shutout win of the season. An 8-0 victory over the San Francisco Giants. A game that turned with a single run in the 6th and 6 in the 7th.
Yeah, offensive really outburst in that 7th inning. But I think the big part of today, this evening, I should say, Jackson Jobe and his return to this Detroit pitching staff after being out with the Tommy John surgery through 5 innings. 1 hit, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. But more importantly, he fills a void right now. A void left with Tarek Skubal traded to the Dodgers. Casey Mize goes to the Padres. And he is going to be ever so important as the Tigers, look to chase down not only a playoff spot, but possibly the division here in this AL Central. You take a look right there, Kevin. They're only a couple games out in the loss column, so it's right there for the taking.
A.J. Hinch told us we're not talking playoffs in the clubhouse until we get to 500. Well, they are 3 games shy of that, but the playoffs are very real for the Tigers right now, trying to track down the AL Central and/or the wild card. That'll do it for Eric and I in San Francisco. Coming up after the break, we'll send it down to the studio. Chris Myers and Dontrell Willis with post-game coverage right after these messages.